Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Faith and I am a full-time clothing reseller. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a what sold for the month of November. I'm going to walk through some of my highest profit sales. I'll be honest, this past month, the month of November, was definitely not the best month I've ever had for sure. I took a lot of time off at the end of September and pretty much all of October, so I've noticed throughout reselling that typically the work you put in the month before reflects on your current month. So yeah, I kind of felt the pain in November, but it's okay. I did make some amazing sales and I definitely had a lot of learning lessons this month, so I'll definitely share all of those with you guys. If you like this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe so you never miss any more videos with me. All right, let's get into it. Okay, so first I'll talk about the breakdown of where my sales came from. 75% of my sales came from Poshmark, which, no surprise here, that's always my primary platform. And then the other 25% came from eBay. I actually made 0 sales from Mercari this month, so that was kind of a bummer, but honestly not shocking at all. I don't put a ton of time into Mercari, and honestly I kind of waver a little bit in my commitment the time commitment that I put into eBay. I definitely have noticed that I make far more sales when I list every single day on eBay, or cross list on eBay I should say. I always list everything first on Poshmark and then cross list it to eBay and Mercari. People always talk about how eBay is less maintenance because you don't have to share your closet, and while that's true, it definitely does not mean that you can set and forget your items. You definitely have to be active on the platform. I've found that when I list every single day and send offers, respond to messages, I make far more sales than when I don't do that. So I've really tried to make it an effort this month, the month of December, to list every day, or if I don't have new items to list, I go back to ones that are expiring, I end the listing, and then I do sell similar, so that helps me stay on top of that goal of mine. And I already this month have seen such an improvement in my eBay sales, so those are some tips I guess that I can offer you if you're looking to try to make more sales on eBay. I also highly recommend promoting your listings. I only promote mine by 2%, but I found that that definitely makes a difference as well. My average sales price for this month was $164.33, and my average profit per item was $67.33. My margins were a lot lower than I would typically like. I am not super proud of that. However, my average sales price is the highest that it's been all year, so that is something to be excited about, and I would much rather have that than have a high profit margin, but ideally I'd like my profit margin to be a little bit higher than it was this month, but you definitely will see that in my sales, and I'll walk you through some of the mistakes that I made. I'm going to share my highest profit sales from the month, and I'll kind of start from the lowest of that range up into my highest profit sale of the month. So coming in at number 1 is this Stella McCartney sweater. I sold this on Poshmark for $120. It took 53 days to sell. I paid $42.50 for this, so after platform fees and my cost of goods, I made a profit of $53.50. This is my first time selling Stella McCartney, and I definitely took a chance on it because I by no means am an expert in designer items. I'm trying to work my way up there, but I thought that the cost of goods was low enough for an item like this, and I honestly didn't even see that many comps, so this was a straight up just gut feeling that I thought this was gonna do okay, and I'm very happy that it sold within 53 days. That's less than 2 months, so very happy about that. Up next is this Caroline Constance dress. It sold on Poshmark for $90. It took 79 days to sell. I paid $18 for this sweater and I made a profit of $54. So I actually saw this sweater when I was sourcing online, and it was something that I was interested in, but the price was just a little bit too high. And then I was out sourcing at a buy-sell trade store and I found the exact same sweater, but it was actually half off on sale, so I decided to pick it up and try it out. And I got it listed and it ended up doing okay, so I'm definitely happy that I did hold out and I didn't buy that first sweater, and it kind of, I think, helps me have a heightened awareness for this brand because I've never sold this brand either. This was my first time selling, I think it's Caroline Constance. I'm not really too sure how to say that, but I will put the logo up here so you can recognize it. I think some of her items are a little bit hit or miss, but this sweater ended up turning out okay. Next are these redone jeans. I have become a little bit more picky about the redone that I pick up, but I did decide to grab these. They're the high-rise stovepipe jeans. They sold on Poshmark for $115. They took 74 days to sell, and I think they took a little bit longer because they were a smaller size. But I paid $36.37 for these, so I made a profit of $55.63. I love selling redone, but you definitely have to be particular about the style that you pick up. Some can be oversaturated, and some just aren't as trendy or as popular as the others. So definitely make sure, pay more attention when you're checking comps to the amount listed versus the amount sold than really the price. I think that is most important, really in general when you're checking comps, in my opinion, but definitely for redone. Okay, this is the first sale that I will share a learning experience from. I really personally would classify this as a bad sale because of how long it took to sell. However, I did make a high profit on it, but you'll see what I'm talking about in a second. So these are Bedstew boots. Now, Bedstew is definitely a BOLO brand. However, these boots, I think, took so long to sell because they were a smaller size and maybe the style just wasn't as popular. I think there definitely are way better styles out there than this pair that I picked up. I sold these on Poshmark for $150 and they took 270 days to sell. Goodness gracious. I paid $60.60 for them, so I made a profit of $59.49. So really, I can't complain about like my profit and how much I made. That is fantastic and I'm really happy about that, but I really don't want to be picking up things that take 270 days to sell. I don't want to be waiting that long to get my money back, especially when I'm paying so much per item. I think I would ideally like it to be around like 30 to 60 days when I flip items, but 270, just way too long. I would definitely have to think twice before picking up something like this again, but again, and I don't want to trash Bedstew because it's definitely a brand to be on the lookout for. You just definitely have to do your research on it and maybe steer more towards the bigger sizes. Oh, and another sale that I would classify as a bad one, even though it has a high profit per item. So this is a All Saints Belfern leather biker jacket, and the Belfern style is definitely the one to pick up if you ever find it. It's the most popular. I sold this on Poshmark for $300. I also should mention that it was new with tags. It took 16 days to sell, but this is why I think it was bad on my part. So I, as you know, have been trying to dabble into online sourcing for a variety of different reasons, but I'm still kind of learning my way around it and definitely not an expert yet. So this is definitely a mistake that I made. I paid way too much for this jacket. I paid $179.85. And I think I saw that it was new with tags and the actual price wasn't too... No, the price was still high. I don't even want to say that, but the price was a little bit high, and then plus there's the shipping. I actually sourced this one on Poshmark. Plus the shipping cost for one item is very, very expensive, and you have to put that into your cost of goods. So I paid way too much for this jacket, so I made a profit of $60, but making $60 when you had to spend $179 to make that $60. I mean, I'm not gonna like hate on the fact that I made $60 for one item, but the margin there is terrible. I definitely need to be careful next time I source an All Saints leather jacket, and ideally pick it up for around $100 to $120, I think would be more reasonable. So definitely learn from my mistake and be very careful when you're online sourcing because it's super easy to overspend on an item. This was a really fun sale for me. I picked these up at a buy sell trade store. They're Ted Baker leather boots, and I mean, I actually for sure have never sold Ted Baker boots before, and it's not something that I would really think of right away as a quick selling, high dollar value brand for like boots, but I thought they were super cute, and I checked comps and the comps looked really, really great. They had a high sell-through rate, so there were not a ton listed, but they were a lot sold. So I sold these on Poshmark for $125. They only took 3 days to sell, so this is one of my quickest flipping items for the month. I paid $37.50 for them and I made a profit of $62.50. That is more what I like to see, only paying $37 to make $62 profit and not like that All Saints jacket. So definitely this was a winner for the month. Next up are these Silver Lake high waist wide leg jeans. High waist, wide leg, definitely what you want to be looking for right now in this season. These sold on eBay for $143. They took 64 days to sell. I paid $47.73 for them and I made a profit of $65.59. I love selling Silver Lake jeans. I'm very picky about the brands of jeans that I pick up nowadays. Right now I really am only picking up Silver Lake, Mother, sometimes Redone, but I do pass on a lot of Redone. And 9 Bing I like to pick up, and that's about it, honestly. Okay, so you're gonna have to let me know in the comments below if I made a mistake on this item. So this is a sweater by The Row. I found The Row at a buy sell trade store. So this sold on Poshmark for $130. Okay, it took 58 days to sell. Did I sell out? Should I have waited longer for a higher offer? This is one of the ones where it didn't get a lot of activity and I was going back and forth. I did price this for, I want to say $2.99, maybe. That's a total guess, I could be wrong, but I priced it definitely up there because it was The Row, but I've never had experience selling this brand. I just know The Row is a very high-end brand by the Olsen twins if you're not familiar. So when I got an offer, I was like, I don't know when I'm gonna get another offer. And my cost of goods on this sweater was only $32.50. So I definitely had room to accept the offer, but I don't know. Should I have held out for something higher? Any of you have experience with it? Please let me know. Did I make a crucial mistake? I don't know. But I did make a profit of $71.50. So at the end of the day, I mean, take the money and run, right? Okay, this is another new to me brand. My first time selling this. It's Age. I don't really, again, know how to say this, but I'll put the logo up here. It sold at Revolve. This top was new with tags and it was linen, so that kind of struck me as something that might be high end, and the font on the tag definitely looked like a higher end label. So I did check comps on it and comps looked pretty great for other tops. I didn't find any in this exact same style, but when I saw that it was on Revolve and I saw how much it retailed for, I decided to take a chance on it. Plus I picked this up at a buy sell trade store and I had done a set, like a buy, I sold clothes to them, so I knew that I was going to have a lot of trade and a lot of profit from that trade because I sourced at the bins to sell to the buy sell trade store, so I made a decent profit. So I knew that that was going to reduce some of my cost of goods for these items. So I only paid $13 for it, so I figured why not, let's take a chance on a new brand. And it definitely paid off. So it sold for $125 after 61 days and I made a profit of $86.99. Next up is this Nilly Lotan crew neck sweater. It sold on Poshmark for $179. It took 60 days to sell. I paid $53 for this, and so I made a profit of $87.74. Nilly Lotan is definitely, like top 3. I honestly am gonna go as far as to say top 3 brands that I like to sell. It sells so consistently for a high dollar amount, and all of our pieces are just so well made, and they're kind of more classic styles, so they aren't like trendy, so they don't go in and out of trend. Like you can't look at something and be like, oh, that's so 2006. They're more classic in the sense that they're timeless and the styles don't really go out of style, I suppose. So I highly recommend, if you find Nilly Lotan, to do your research and pick it up. This is going to be another one of those learning sales that you can learn from me from. So I sold my first pair of Christian Louboutin pumps. And I was so excited to source these. They've kind of been on my bucket list for a while because, I mean, red bottoms are just a classic. I kind of personally think that they're a little chuggy now. Do you guys know the term chuggy? I'll put it up. If not, that's your pulp culture lesson for the day. But I think that they're a little bit like 2010s in my personal opinion. I don't know. I guess the more pointed toe styles, maybe the super new styles aren't as bad, but like the round toe classic, kind of like what these are, I don't know. They're not my personal style. I think they're a little chuggy. But I digress. I sold these on Poshmark for $350, and that honestly is a relatively high price for the condition, for the style. These sold in 33 days, so it was a quick flip, so I can't complain there. The sell-through rate on them, I will say, is great. So that is one of the positive sides of selling Louboutins, but you definitely have to watch how much you pay for them. Like I said, I sold these for $350, and I paid $183.34 for them. So that was pretty high, but I did make a profit of $96.66 in a matter of 33 days. So it depends on like what you're comfortable with. For me, that margin is a little bit too slim for my personal preference. Some people are totally okay doing that and they have zero problem. If you're making $96 for one flip, some people don't give a care in the world about the margin, but I personally like to try to double my money. But if I'm paying higher, I'm fine with it being like a little bit less than that, but typically that's kind of the range I want to be at. So again, it's not like a terrible sale. I really can't even classify this as a bad sale, but it's definitely something that I think I would look to spend a little bit less on in the future. Next are these Stuart Weitzman suede trio over the knee boots. This is my first time selling this style. I was a little bit apprehensive about picking them up because I didn't know how this style would perform, but it ended up doing pretty great. So they sold for $295. They only took 32 days to sell. I paid $134.70 for them, and so I made a profit of $101.30. This is the perfect example of an item that I'm okay not doubling my money on. So I spent $134, and in 32 days I made a profit of $101. That is okay for me. I'm definitely okay with that, especially since I have a lot of experience selling Stuart Weitzman over the knee boots, so I knew for sure that they were going to sell, and I'm very confident with my buys from this brand. So I did feel confident paying a little more, knowing that I probably wouldn't double my money, but I would come close. When you're investing that much in one piece, it's pretty hard, honestly, to double your money, and I'm definitely okay making a little bit less than double. So this is an example of something I'm okay with, and I've definitely shared other examples where you can kind of see the difference of what I feel comfortable with. But again, that's just my personal preference. Maybe that will change for me in the future as I become more confident and have like more capital to invest in inventory, but I think everyone's a little bit different in what they feel comfortable investing, what they want to get back for their items. So I said I had a lot of experience selling these boots, and I'm not lying, I sold another pair. So these are the Highland suede boots. These sold on Poshmark for $325, which actually I wish I would have had the original price on these be a lot higher. I definitely could have gotten away with it because these came with the box, and you kind of pigeonhole yourself a little bit when you send offers to people, and then they, like, of course are going to try to counter offer you. So I always try to aim high, and I definitely should have aimed a little bit higher on these boots because they sold for a little less than I think the potential on them could have been. But they definitely was not a bad sale at all, but I probably should have priced it a little bit higher. So these sold for $325, 29 days after listing. I paid $152.92 for them, so I made a profit of $107.09. Another great story I just remembered about these boots. Okay, story time. So these sold on eBay, actually. A person purchased these for full price, but they added a message along with their purchase notification. I don't know how to describe that, but I'll put a screenshot here. And they said, "Can you ship these ASAP? Are these brand new? Question mark, question mark, question mark." I'm like, okay, well, you just purchased them. Like, don't you think you should have maybe asked me that question before you purchased them? So I checked this person's feedback, and they had 0 feedback. And I was like, ooh, that is kind of a red flag. I don't know how I feel comfortable with this. I had these priced at $399, and that is a really big sale to be taking a chance on if something seems a little bit fishy. Like I said, my cost of goods for these was $153. So if I did get scammed on them, I would have been out $153. So I did feel very apprehensive about that. So I went ahead and I messaged her back, and I said, these are not brand new, but they are in like new condition, and they include the box. Would you still like to move forward and purchase them? I can ship them right away if you're okay with that. Didn't hear back. Then she sent me another message and was like, hello, like, what, have my boots shipped yet? And I'm like, I sent you a message and you didn't respond to me. And so I replied to that message and I said, I'm ready to ship if you can confirm that you were okay with the condition that they're in. Didn't hear anything back. So then I sent her another message and I said, if I don't hear from you by the end of the day, this is like 3 days later at this point, I'm going to cancel the order because I want to make sure you're agreeing on the condition that you're going to receive. So because I didn't want anything like fishy going on with any kind of returns or anything. And I didn't hear back, so I ended up canceling the order. So then the next day I get a message saying, why was my order canceled? And I was like, okay, yeah, this is definitely a scam, or this person doesn't know how to use eBay, but regardless, I'm not taking a chance on these. And I ended up just refunding the person and relisting them. And then a couple of days later, actually, they sold. So these were definitely like a hot item. They had a lot of activity, I think because they were in such great condition and the box was included. So I, in hindsight, wish I would have priced these at like $450 instead of $399, but you live and you learn, I guess. Okay, this was another new to me brand. I picked this up at a buy sold trade store. The brand is the Elder Statesman. I'll put the tag up here so you can see what it looks like. I checked comps on this sweater, but I didn't find a lot available or sold comps, but when I looked it up online, I saw that it retailed for a ton of money, and I just felt in my gut, again, another gut purchase, that this was going to do well, and I kind of already had the idea that maybe this would be like a better eBay item. But it sold for $200. It took 61 days to sell. I paid $55 for it, so I made a profit of $111. And this was actually an international sale, so this went off to Germany. Okay, the last sale that I will share with you guys is this New Tags Doen dress. So I did get the chance to go to the Doen sample sale in Beverly Hills. It was kind of crazy. I waited in line for 2.5 hours. Plus I drove an hour and a half to get there. So it definitely was a commitment, to say the least, but I'm very happy that I went. Unfortunately, by the time that I got in, I tried my best to be there as soon as possible. I got there like right as the sale opened and the line was already down the block, so I definitely should have gotten there like 3 hours ahead of time, but lesson learned for sure. By the time I did end up going in, a lot of it was picked over. There was very minimal inventory to choose from and the sizes were all super small. But I did end up picking like 4 or 5 dresses up. This one sold within 2 days after I got it listed. So this sold on eBay for $347. It took 2 days to sell. I paid $142.35 for each dress that I purchased. They all had the same cost of goods. But I made a profit of $151.93. I definitely want to point out that I think the fact that I do model my clothing makes a huge difference in what I'm able to sell items for. I think your pictures are absolutely crucial in being able to price competitively. I don't even want to say competitively, being able to price high and selling what the item is worth. If you go through and you check sold comps, you'll see that the items that sell for super high dollar amounts compared to the ones that don't are the items that have the best pictures. I know it seems like kind of silly that just like the cover photo of your item would make that much of a difference, but I'm telling you, I've noticed a huge difference in what I'm able to sell certain items at and even price certain items at based off of being able to model my clothing. So that a lot of people have asked me to like share my experience with that and how it's been going, and 110% I recommend it. I think it gives you the option to price things way higher than you normally would. So keep that in mind. If it's something that you're open to, I highly recommend it. And if not, just find a way to make your cover photos look as bright and clean as possible, and it's going to make a huge difference. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. It really, really supports my channel and helps it grow. If you have any questions, definitely make sure to comment them down below and I will do my best to try to answer them. All right, I'll see you guys next week.